today with us is very honorable person on on our show. He is Vinod. He belongs from Vaili Folklore group, which is one of the best and which is one of the international groups which looks about dance, that is indigenous dance, and many more indigenous culture which truly shows about India and Kerala especially. And along with that, he is the executive director of Vaili Folklore Art. And along with that, we are on 30 October, film festival is going to start, which is the international film festival. The name is Leela International Folklore Film Festival, and he is also the director of that big event. And today we are going to talk about this thing. So, sir, welcome you on Vaman Matters. And I just hope that people are going to take many things from this interview. So let me start from the first point is that uh, what was your experience till now about the culture in which you have grown up along the river banks of Nila, and how this culture, Vaili culture, changed you as a personality since from your childhood till now.
Okay. Thank you so much, Rohit, and thank you, my friends. Yeah, the journey has been so good for the last 16 to 20 years. And I'm a computer engineer by profession. And so I work for a US based company, which is based in DC, and they have offshore center in Kochi. And I started my career as a computer programmer, then continuing with that. And Wiley means the goddess of paddy fields. And in way back 2004, few like-minded people, few youngsters joined with the goal of getting youth connected to river tradition and culture. And we wanted to make sure that whatever is there in the river as a culture, whatever is nourished on the banks, there should be continuity. There's a generations to take it forward. We don't want that to get vanished. And we started the journey in 2004, and the journey has been so inspiring so far. And there were many up and downs, and then checks and balances in between the last 16 years. But one thing we could strongly say that we kept an open mind for changes. So we were flexible for adapting changes, accommodating youth, and the journey started 16 to 17 years back. But now we see we have still have the continuity of youth coming and involved in various aspects of Wiley. Wiley was initially it was just a folk dance group when we started. When later on we ventured into multiple areas as we started involving in more in terms of social and environmental aspects. So we have a bamboo band, it's a contemporary music band, part of Wiley, and we have a craft supporting unit exclusively for crafts from the banks of River Nila, that's called Craftilla. Then we have an alternative learning space which called Alter School, and which is Sharath is also part of that. They are leading it. Sharath and Rakesh, they both are leading it. It's actually a learning space for the youth, especially kids, to understand the root, the culture, tradition, because our mainstream education is missing that element. Like nowhere you talk about the local history or local tradition or your culture, you still talk about international items in your textbooks, but there's no space for the local items in our textbook or curriculum. So we want to bridge the gaps. We started an alternate action called Ultraspo. Then we have a media collective which started in 2016 with a goal that Wiley being in folklore group, we were concentrating on folk dance, folk performance, research, and all the things. We identified a problem that we could identify only certain youth. I mean, 10% of the youth from our village. So what happened to the rest? Rest are not aligned with the concept which we are talking. So we should look at the medium of the youth engaged, then get a larger youth involved in it. So we started Media Collective, which is a collective of initially it was a WhatsApp group, and but now it's become part of Wiley's activities. It's a collective with the people from different walks of life, like photographers, videographers, and filmmakers, and drawing people in different fields. There are around 140 people involved in the group actually. So they made it the film festival possible. So the idea of film festival came to our mind a couple of years back, when we made a film about the dying art form, dying craft called mat weaving, and we made a film by using students, part of the altar school, and sent to for some international festivals, and we got the award. And what we noticed is actually that's the best medium. Use the medium which the youth comfortable, and let them go and engage in the route. So that's with two chances. One is actually they feel comfortable with their own platform. Either it could be photography or videography or filmmaking, and you're connecting them back to the root. So that's why Wiley has been so far. And thank you so much. So there's a quick introduction about Wiley.
Uh, More than 22 countries are going to participate in this film festival, and it most of the countries will be about their indigenous culture based short films or movies. How you made sure that so many countries participate? How you reached till them? Who decided all this? How did you made the plan so that it got materialized in a proper way, that you can say efficiently that yes, this is going to happen?
That's right. That's right. It's an interesting question. If you look at when we conceptualized a film festival, we were very sure that we wanted to give a name connected with our River Nila, which we were very fond of and we are grateful. And second, we wanted to show the community and the people that there are people who are interested to make films which talks about your art and culture, the roots of your own community, need not be in India, but outside across the globe. And Wiley has been there in the mainstream of folklore and art and culture for the last 16 years. So we have quite a network. Actually, we have participated in many international forums, discussions, and then many of the forums we presented paper about craft, culture, and art, and how youth engage in that. So we used all our networks in the past 16 years of the networks we have. And we also did some research on the internet to understand the kind of similar festivals happening across the globe. And we sent out, we had a multi-phase strategy. So we sent out mass mails to those groups. We connected our own personal contacts. So I think rather than the mass mailing, I think the personal contacts make the magic actually. So because many of them know us very well, and those who worked in the past, so they referred their friends and the colleagues to share the films. So that's really helped us to get so much of films, closely 100 films. And it was a Herculean task to shortlist the films which we want to showcase for 3 days of the film festival. Uh, Actually, the concept of film festival came to our mind 2 years back. So just a second. Let me just switch on the thing. So this actually, uh, when we took one of our film got selected and as part of the Nepal Film Festival, and the two of our colleagues, Bhaginath and Sri Chesh, they both are the coordinators of this festival. Then they both went to Nepal and then they participated the festival. And from the when we came back, we thought, why don't we do something in Kerala, connecting both youth and the new filmmakers, you both, especially on the culture space. Unfortunately, 2018 we had very bad floods, and 2019 also we had some part of Kerala we had flooding, and so that's 2 years we couldn't do much. In 2020 we thought we are going to do something this year. We started the planning long back, in the beginning, like 2019, late in 2019, and so we started it. But again, COVID hit us very badly, and we were thinking that whether should drop it and plan to launch it in 2021. We were just figuring out. And then finally, we decided, why don't we try an online version? And we were not very sure how we do the film festival in online. And we had a brainstorming sessions. We suggested actually let's use Zoom or the YouTube premiering and all those things. So let's give a start, maybe a small level, but at least a few films we can start it. So we can at least say 2020 we have started it. So we thought we'll just reach out it, but surprisingly, our initiate, us, it's really a surprise for us. Close to 100 entries came to us just for in a month's time, and then we formed an review team, and they went over all the 100 films, and then Scott listed the films. And while listing it or reviewing films, we made a very constant decision, concrete decision, or a conscious decision that we are not going to just classify films based on the technicality. Let's say, there may be films from US, Europe, and there may be films from Northeast and other part of India. So you cannot just gauge it same with the same level right now, because the accessibility of resources, the kind of technology tools which you use will be different from different places. I may be a local guy when the resources access to me is limited. So you cannot compare my film with international quality. So we took a decision that we do 2 rounds of reviews. One is actually cinema related, film related review. So we'll have a jury exclusively experts on the film side, and they're going to look at the cinematography of that. And we are going to have a separate team that's called subject matter experts, folklore experts. They look at the films from the folklore perspective, actually, whether you have done justice to the subject of a folklore. So we had 2 separate teams. They did a great review and they gave the recommendation. Based on comparing all the recommendations, we arrived with the 21 films we are going to show it on the 3-day event. And but it was there in our back of our mind that we should not neglect all other films, actually. So we are just showing only 21. Then what happened to the other films? All the films, like, it's if you're making such films, it's not for the commercial purpose, actually. It's from your heart. So we should not let you down, actually. So they should be showing it. So we thought, actually, the NIFI, the Nila International Folklore Film Festival, is going to be a ongoing process. So we are going to have a festival this month, and every month we are going to show few films, and we'll invite the people who are involved in it. We'll have a discussion. So because each film takes a birth based on your hard work, passion. You might have taken this idea for a long, and you might have worked out with many people, approached many people for funding and opportunities. So we should not neglect that kind of efforts gone into that. So we thought, next till 2021, that the second edition of NIFI will have a long month, 12 months of time. So every month we'll show every films, whatever films given to us, we are going to screen it. We take an equal weightage, but just for the sake of a film festival, we should be announcing some awards and festivals where we feel that equal justice should be given to, at least some level of justice should be given to other films. That's the philosophy of this festival. That's all in a nutshell.
Okay, so when this idea came up in your mind that yes, we want to start a film festival, and there are many international film festival like Cannes and
Mm,
South Korea and many more. So at the
exactly.
end, when a common person like me or anyone else think about a international film festival, they think that yes, we must get an award, and after getting an award, we are in a heaven. So,
Mm.
does you had a belief that this must be the end product, or showcasing other films to on a equal par? Because this looks very interesting. This philosophy. So, speak a little bit more about that. What discussions you had about that?
Exactly. As I rightly mentioned, typically in a film festival, you'll be having a jury with a mix of film experts, who will critically review the films and then arrive with a few films and then declare the awards. And we took a conscious decision that we are not going to take that approach, actually. So mainly because we want to respect each film and the kind of effort people have taken. And I'm very honestly, if you look at it, there are around 20 films from the Northeast, and all the films are beautiful, which really narrates the beauty of Northeast, the culture, tradition, the ecology, and everything. So, and the films are taken by the kids. I mean, especially the students, the intern students. So, the kind of resources accessible to them, while studying or part of your internship, you have made the film. So we don't want to let that energy down, because youth has taken the energy. They have taken a lot of constraints to make a film. No proper camera, no proper funding, no proper access to your meeting resource people. With all these constraints, people have taken films. That shows their kind of commitment and passion. And so how you do the justice, if we get international films from across the globe, how you balance it? So we thought, it's a balancing. It's like, giving opportunity for for them to share their experience, what challenges they have faced and what problems, and then it will be an inspiration for many of us to learn it, how the struggles they have taken to make a film. And if that struggle really helps someone to motivate and get into some kind of actions, that's we thought it should be. So that's why we thought we'll give a not equal, but we'll give a proper justice to all the films, and there'll be a space in NIFI, there'll be a space for each films, and we respect every film, and we should support. In the long run, it should be a collective festival. Need not be Wiley alone taking the responsibility, but should be a responsibility of folklorists, youth who are engaging with the culture and tradition, and then take it forward. So that's a core thought came to our mind when we worked out.
So, in 3 days event, what you are planning means what will be the chronology of different small events will be taking place in this international event itself? What are those things? Please share.
It's actually, since it is an online, we were thinking about how to make it engaging. So because keeping audience engaged in online space is a bit tricky. You will get distracted. While I'm talking, I may have a tendency to look at my Facebook or WhatsApp, what's happening. But if you're in a theater or in some places, you'll be focused. You're not biased with the other interferences actually. So this thing we thought is actually we will stitch everything in a single video. Stitching in sense, we'll have talks by the director or the person who made the film, and we have reviews about the film. Then we'll screen the film. So it will be everything. There is no lag actually. So it's systematically we stitched as a single video. So from to end, you can continuously watch, then interviews, and in between, we don't want people to get bored with too many films. Right? In between, we'll have some performance. The band will come and do a small music performance. So all the videos, everything is a video, but you can see different taste. You'll get refreshed. One film, 15 minutes, you can enjoy some music, then get into the next film. So then you can listen some interviews from some of the experts on the folklore side, and how important the youth get into such spaces. So it's a mix of both. So it's like what thought came to our mind is that you may be interested to watching film, but while watching, if I can give it consciously, some thought sparks into your mind, stating how critical these art forms in my village. It a spark come to your mind, and you become an ambassador of safeguarding your tradition culture. That's a result of this festival.
As you said that from Northeast, more than 20 movies are going to come, and above that, from many countries are going to come. So, okay, so many film festivals just go for a week or for sometimes for a few days, and after that, the person who submits his film sometimes they don't have any relation later, okay, with that particular film festival. So, will your film festival keep a good bonding with every filmmaker who has given his film festival, especially those filmmakers who are new, who have done with their great efforts with not even a good camera, who have made a short film or a movie? Are you planning anything in your head that you shall guide them, give some mentorship or some advices or some help regarding filmmaking or anything in their future if they want to do something big by taking your help as a mentor? Anything like that has came up in your mind in this 3 days event?
Definitely. When we worked out NIFI, the International Folklore Film Festival, we thought it's going to be an every year affair. Every year we are going to have the film festival, and it'll be a 3-day event, 3 or 4 days. It depends on the films. Maybe in 2021 we may have a public event. We can screen films. But as you rightly asked, continuity is a one key thing which initially thought about. There should be a continuity for our activities. We should not do a festival for 3 days and then shut it down, then come back again 2021 November, then call for films and then do a 3 days and then come back. it's not like that actually. So what we thought is actually we are going to have every month we are going to contact the filmmakers and then get them on board and discuss and show the films. So that's why at least for last for I think 6-7 weeks we have started the exercise. Almost 2 months back we start the preparations. In August I think we started the end of August I think we started the discussions, the process. So I think we have sent closely 6 round of mails to them. First is actually collecting the mails and then appreciating for rendering, and then keeping them informed in regular intervals that the reviews are happening. Then the next round, this finalist like 21 films you are shortlisted, shared the schedule, and we let others know that your films are still in pipeline for the next months to come in. So it's not like one mail saying thank you, we are stopping communication. We continued. So 6 rounds of mails have gone to those people, and we want to make sure that we are still in touch with them. We're keeping their emails and phone numbers in our database, and we make sure that we are good call. And personally, from my end, I'm going to make a call to all the 21 filmmakers today, and because that's already taken by the initiative, the invitation group. But from as an commitment from the top, I want to make sure that I'll call all the 21 guys today and welcome to these festivals and make sure that we take the relationship forward. And end of the day, the festival should be owned by the youth who are interested in film and folklore, and not only with a few like us. So it should be open, and the concept should be replicated anywhere in India. We don't have any problem in sharing the ideas. If someone from the Northeast say like, I want to tie out in one festival in Northeast, and we'll extend all the possible support and all the details what we have gone. And I think we believe in the open sharing of ideas and experiences. Yeah.
uh, which is the main aspect of your life which is heavily impacted by Wiley culture? Any one aspect of your life, please share it.
I think the great experience is actually I always say or cherish that when the Change Looms event. Change Looms actually a social change maker program initiated by Prabha Tata Trust, and I'm a change loomer, actually part of the 2008 batch. And initially, when we took up the Wiley exercise in 2004, we never had thought of like we are going to do a social change, or we will be called as a change makers or anything. So some passion, we all part of our passion, we all gathered together and we started the journey as a folk dance group. But my friend whom I met in Chennai, I think in 2006, part of some other program. So he introduced me to the Change Rooms program. In fact, he nominated me to the Change Rooms program. The journey of Change Rooms really made us a difference, actually. We started looking at widely more socially oriented and looking at social entrepreneurship aspects, actually. So that's the one key incident which I believe, the 1 week interaction or workshop we had in Delhi, part of the Change Rooms program, really made us, working with change makers from across India, understanding the changes they are taking. So I grateful for that event. That really made the focus and foundation for Wiley.
When I read about Wiley on your website, it said that about culture, it said that unless nature is not very close, okay, with humans, culture cannot exist at all. So your culture
Mm.
depends on nature at then. So can you describe your culture? What is it is exactly? What beliefs it tries to express? Be it from your food, from your
Mm.
lifestyle, from
Mm.
your
Mm.
music, uh,
Mm. Mm.
from your many other things that has heavily impacted you, and especially about the school also, which your culture means your group has started. Please speak about that, because that is very essential that people need to know what culture is it all about.
It's interesting. So if you look at, we always talk about River Nila. River Nila is actually the biggest river in Kerala, and that's why because Kerala has got many number of rivers, 44 rivers in Kerala, and it's so beautiful. That's why it's called the God's own country. And but unfortunately, most of our rivers are facing challenges either through mining or through the pollution and or through sort of a degradation. And of course, River Nilla's story is not an unique in that case. Actually, it's just an exception. It's the same story. And the unscientific and uncontrolled mining has totally destroyed the river banks and everything taken. And if you look at the cultural aspects of the river, in the 250-kilometer stretch of the river, it originates from Tamil Nadu and from the Western Ghats and is flowing the rest of the life through Kerala, connecting three districts of Kerala, especially Palakkad, Thrissur, and Malappuram districts of Kerala, and the Coimbatore district of Tamil Nadu. So four districts on the river. And if you look at it, in the beginning, you can see the Tamil culture and traditions, on the banks. Again, you travel back to, and when you enter Kerala, you can see a Kerala culture starting there. And there are some belt still the tribal culture is very popular. Then again, you travel, you come to Palakkad, you can see the Brahmin culture, Carnatic music, and then sort of thing. Again, you travel, you come to the place where I live, that's a central part of the river. That's called very famous for Kathakali, Mohiniyattam, all this kind of traditional classical art forms. Again, you travel back to the estuary, where the river merges with the Arabian Sea. That you can see the trading and the Muslim population, and then you can see fishing. So you can see it's so diversified, unique cultural hamlets on the river. So unlike other river, this may be like, this river is connecting multiple districts in multiple states. That's why, Tamil Nadu culture, that's why it's so unique in its culture and tradition. So you can see a lot of art forms, irrespective whether folk or classical or traditional. You can see a lot of art forms, culture on the banks. There are many craft people like pottery, bell metal, weaving, you can see, and came and started and settled on the banks of River Nilla. So if you look at it, it has its own music, its own instruments, its own costumes, its own craft, its own art forms. So it's so diversified in sense that there are people who wander to settle their life in the banks of River Nilla. So we had a decision that we wanted to make sure that youth connect socially. They're connected back to the river, and they take the ownership of the river and then start watching for the river survival. So you can see a lot of culture, tradition, and and of course you can even see the difference in the food style, the food they take, and the dress they wear. Especially if you go to Malabar side, it is a Muslim populated area. You can see the totally different dress code. And if you come to the Palakkad side, where the Tamil is influenced, you can see different lifestyle. And even the food we can see in Palakkad side, they mainly vegetarians. And if you go to Malappuram and other side, you can see a lot of non-vegetarians. They eat a lot of fish. So different, same river, but different unique pockets. You can see different, so diversified culture actually. So we wanted to make sure that we document that first, make sure that it is available for the youth to come and explore it and understand it actually. So that's in a nutshell about the river culture.
In any culture, like for example your culture, you said about diversity. So any one particular, so do many caste, means caste is a main thing, so do many caste
Hmm.
are do means work in that your area or your culture, or is it one? Because many people get confused, because your culture is a very diversifying culture, many things you do at a time, like songs, then community participation programs, and those things essential. So many outsider like me will think that only, or anyone, oh, what is about caste then? So please speak about that also.
There's no caste actually. So I mean, as you like, caste system it's still there in across India, and I think it's comparatively Northeast India and other places. Southern states are much better, and because the literacy has made really give the renaissance in the terms of keeping people equal, but still there. But if you look at actually, it's a whole system of like classifying people based on the kind of occupations they get into. So pottery is one, bell metal is one, and the Nayar, Nambutiri, all this kind. So they have their own kind of occupations and environment. But being in the social space, Wiley took a conscious decision in the beginning that we are against all this kind of separations. So anyone is having a passion to learn the particular art form and they want to become part of the art form, we are open for it actually. So we never say this particular art form belongs to a particular community, and an X should not learn this, and I should not play this instrument. So we that kind of, I mean, we don't we don't believe that kind of stereotyping of art and culture. Art and culture is an expression, is an open expression, and anyone believes that kind of an expression can come and learn it. So that's why in Wiley we don't have any kind of such classification. We classify only art forms, and anyone belongs to any caste or community and any belief systems, whether they're Muslims or Hindu or Christian, anything. You, if you want to learn it, you come and learn it and you practice it, and make sure that there's a continuity. And at the same time, we want to give justice to the core values of that art form. So there's a certain systems which the art form is emerged, like the way they play, the kind of rituals. Certain art forms, we cannot never take it out from the place where it is, maybe the sacred kind of that particular art form. So we don't want to over exploit that and take it somewhere and then challenge it. If I take it and perform somewhere in the road, and what will happen instead of that particular temple? We don't want that to happen, actually. So we should respect the kind of this context where the art form is emerged, and the community and the context and the people involved in it. Respect. At the same time, we don't want to stereotypes. X should not enter into that kind of thing, actually. But we want to retain the context and the energy and the ingredients of that particular art which nourish this. And at the same time, give a space for others to come and learn it and practice it. So we are caste neutral, and we don't believe in the kind of separations at all.
This question, you have a choice, okay, to answer any question. I will be asking two questions. From that, you have a choice to answer, okay. So,
Okay.
question
Okay.
one is that how does spirituality made impacted your life in an awesome way? Or you can answer this question: which are the people in your life that you want to say thank you, and which are the people in your life that you want to say sorry, and why? You can answer any one question from this or.
I think it's I answer it sometimes if it connects both. I think it's I believe in spirituality in sense, actually that's a way you can know your inner sense, and you understand your capabilities and your weakness. So that's why I take it a positive sense that spirituality is to know the inner sense, and then understanding how you want to see the society. From I to we, spirituality always help you to move from I to we. And there are definitely a number of people definitely helped us to I should remember one name, the Dr. C.R. Rajagopal. He is a founder director of Center for Folklore Studies, and NGO started in the center part of Kerala, Thrissur. And he's a Malayalam professor, and so I think he was one of the main pioneers and instrumental in bringing folklore studies into Kerala. I think compared to other states, Kerala has been in the forefront for setting up an academy for folklore, and setting up a school of folklore studies under one of the universities. So that's why he was instrumental in bringing folklore close to the local people. And Wiley started because of his inspiration. So I should remember him. And one more name I should remember is actually Metroman E. Sridharan. And because last year, as part of the river conservation exercises, we approached him after all of his work, and he came and settled in the banks of River Nila at Ponnani, where the river merges with the Arabian Sea. And while he was concentrating mainly on the cultural space of river and documenting and then imparting it. And it's a realization that we all should look at the policy or legal or the conservation aspects of river along with that cultural activities. And that made a thinking that Wiley, we don't want Wiley get into too many things and then spoil our focus. So Wiley let Wiley focus on the culture space. So in 2019, we started another NGO called Friends of Bharatapura, nothing to do with Wiley. It's a separate NGO started by the inspiration of Dr. E. Sridharan, and he's the president of that. I'm the secretary of that NGO. And that Friends of Bharatapura focuses mainly on the environmental and conservation activities of River Nila, on the legal and policy frameworks. So I think being worked with him for last 1.5 years so closely, going and meeting him almost every month and multiple times and discussing. So I should acknowledge the kind of flexibility and artisticization or the kind of commitment and sincerity and the vision you always keep. So I think these two names I should not forget. Actually, I think this one really helped me uh, to move forward in my space. Yeah.
So we are ending up here. This is the last question. Do you have any question for me?
Yeah, of course. I have one question. What inspired to talk to people and know their stories, and that because I was going through some of your earlier stories, and I realized that many people won't have the patience to listen to other people. They always want to share their stories. So I want to take that opportunity to understand what made you to think about collecting user stories and the people stories from the local, and then starting about this program. That's my thought. I mean,
Hmm. Uh, the thought process was only that it was a simple logic that
mm,
okay, if I want to meet those people who have done something out of box things in their life, or who have done something that they will never regret, okay, whatever they have done, then I need an instrument. So I thought that this will be a good instrument from which it shall empower me. Okay, then I went a little bit further. Okay, it has empowered me. Then what? Then it remains still me only. Then I decided let's take it a little bit ahead. This shall empower other also. Who knows that
mm,
what a person he is holding in his head or heart, any questions in his life, he might get accidentally here. Nobody knows.
yeah,
So
correct, correct.
this is the only simple logic in my head which provoked me to start this platform. Thank you so much, Vinod sir, for speaking with Vaman Matters, and I hope years ahead you will become a very awesome person and you will take your work ahead, and people will also take inspiration from your life and the work which Wiley group is doing since from 2004. And let's end up here. Thank you so much, sir, for speaking with people and with Vaman Matters. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.